Just to look at Canfin Homes, up 6% as we speak. We had the management of the company just a while ago on our channel said they don't see any slowdown or hiccup in the first-time loan buyers' demand. At the same time, they're not pressed for any sort of liquidity issues. The street taking note of that, the stock higher by about 6%. But let's shift focus to earnings then. Hindalco will report their third quarter results today. Key expectations, Nigel?
Well, for Hindalco, you're looking at two parts. One is the standalone business. That's what our poll, is going to be compared to. And the second factor is how did the Utkal Alumina business do?
Right.
To run you through the first part, the standalone business, we're expecting a growth of around 8.5%, the margins of around 10.2%, profit number of around 370 crores. On a year-on-year basis, we are aware aluminium prices as well as copper prices, both of them are lower, but by around 6 to around 9%. But what pressurizes the margins? This is of the standalone business. One is that, the flattish volumes in terms of the aluminium business. They're running at peak capacity utilization levels. Coal costs have gone up. We have carbon cost as well, higher carbon costs. That's the, the CPC as well as the other crude oil derivatives as well. And finally, which is the most important factor, Sunny, you'll see the margins may be a big miss in terms of the standalone numbers, or it may be much higher. You'll need to keep in mind, you have to look at the Utkal Alumina business as well. And that's where the transfer price of alumina comes into play. First, focusing on the aluminium business, year on year, LME aluminium prices are lower, but what protects them is that the rupee is weaker. Second factor is that they hedge some part of their quantity at a higher price. Sales volumes numbers should be flattish at around 325,000 odd, but what could hurt profitability? One is that input costs are higher. Second factor is the transfer pricing, which is the most important factor. So overall, the total aluminium business EBITDA should be at around 1,325 crores. Depends how it gets split. How much comes in from the Utkal Alumina business? How much comes in from the standalone alumina business? So you'll have to look at that in totality. The total aluminium business. Copper business then. There'll be a big surge in terms of volumes on a sequential basis. Even on a year-on-year basis, it'll be higher. The copper EBITDA number you're working with is around 520 to around 530 crores odd. What helps the business? One is that, we know that Vedanta's Tuticorin smelter has been shut down. So higher dependence on Hindalco. Secondly, they've been selling more amount of their quantity in the domestic market where they get higher premiums, and also volumes are higher. And besides that, higher focus on value-added products. That's something that will help them. In addition to the operational performance, we'll also be looking at a couple of factors. One is the interest cost should be lower because they've been reaping some part of the debt. And finally, other income, same quarter last year, it was quite high. So we'll have to keep an eye out on that factor as well, Mangalam.
All right, Nigel. So we will keep an eye out on that. Most likely the results would come during noontime?
Yeah, it'll come, I think, time for lunch,
Okay.
So
maybe by around
1:30. 1:32, yeah, aluminium foil.
Right. Meanwhile, just keep an eye out on the markets. We're seeing some wobbly moves come by on a couple of stocks. So Apollo Hospitals, for instance, opened fairly in the green. In fact, opened flat and then moved into the green. Thereafter, we've seen some sell-off from the top, currently at the low point of the day, sitting with a cut almost 7% from the top. TVS Motors, on the other hand, at the high point of the day, so keep an eye out on that one as well. For the third quarter results, TVS Motors really stood out in terms of margins, 8% plus margins for 2 quarters in a row, but trades at expensive valuations.
At the start of the show, Mangalam, we were highlighting about graphite electrodes. Both Graphite India as well as HEG, they are at the low point of the day. I think it's imperative that the managements, they come and they clarify exactly what's the outlook out there, because there's a lot of panic on the street. Graphite India is down, HEG as well down close to around 7.5%. I think we've run out of time, so we'll wrap up on Chartbusters. You stay with us. Trading Hour comes up next.